6.5 hours to get here.
Yeah, but you did a little detour, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, will you introduce yourself to the audience?
Exactly. So I'm Muneer. I'm a data scientist by profession and working as AI solutions architect at Netapp. So I'm mainly focusing on, you can say, research in data science regarding healthcare, finance, as well as automotive vertical. Yeah, that's kind of like a short introduction about me.
Okay, so my name is Steve. I'm a pre-sale solutions engineer. So I'm doing the infrastructure stuff, the boring part for you guys. So I was
making our life easy, you know.
Yeah, I getting used to. So I was growing up building data centers like in the basement with those cables and those power plugs. So that was my life since last year, and now we're working together on DevOps, data science stuff to make his life easy or at least easier.
So you managed to get out of your basement.
Yeah, kinda.
You still have it either. Come on, don't spoil it.
If you ask my wife, yeah, I try to, at least. Yeah.
Cool. Here. So what does data science mean for you?
To make his life, I always said that. So for me, it was like doing something different after 10 years in infrastructure business. Like I was studying IT, traditional IT with all this infrastructure stuff. Then I was doing consulting, creating data centers, troubleshooting things, doing the night work for others. And then it was like, yeah, do you want to do some pre-sales? Do you want to do some DevOps kind of stuff? So by accident, I was getting into training with data science stuff. And this is supervised learning and this is unsupervised learning. I was like, that sounds interesting. I would like to hear more about this. And then I was by accident meeting this guy. So most of the things happened by accident. And it's great to do something different after 10 years of the next network card and the next bandwidth thing. And now you can do it even faster. And so it really doesn't care for a data scientist. So they really don't matter about things like that.
What does data science mean for you?
So I started my journey as a software engineer. So those days I was like writing some code for, you can say, some applications, mobile applications, web applications, and I found it day by day it's getting boring. You know, just writing some if-else, you know, some loops, and that's it. So there was no kind of excitation there. And then meanwhile I started my master's at the University of Munich, and I kind of have inclination towards, you can say, parallel programming, distributed computing later on that, as well as have some implementation algorithm, you know. So at that time, I decided it's better now to try something, you can say, how we can get information out of data without writing those, you know, ugly for loops and stuff like that. So that's how my journey started in the AI. And day by day, I got fascinated about it. I participated in some challenge, like Grand Challenge for medical imaging, and then Kaggle as well, of course. And ultimately, I got a chance to work with some research institutes here in Germany. Like one was German Center for Neurodegenerative Diseases, where we utilize first-time complex convolution neural networks for medical imaging, reconstruction of medical imaging, like to recover, you can say artifacted image out of that, creating the as good as you can say if you recover or if you gather the whole information from the patient. So we reduce the time from, you can say, 1.5 hours to just 15 minutes. Okay. And that was kind of motivating for me. Like, I'm saving patient suffering, he's already suffering, and I'm kind of reducing that time when he's inside that doom. And then I carried that journey. I worked with some startups in Munich, and then finally I co-founded one of the startups as well with my friends. And finally at Netapp gave me an opportunity, you can say, to coming from the research background, I was always like, how do you productize that? Because it's a different story. When you do research, you just write your papers, all good state of art, your job is done. But how do we do that at scale? So in Netapp with Steve helped me a lot to kind of realize how do we do that? How do we productize the whole stuff?
And now you mentioned, of course, AI already quite some times. How would you define it? Artificial intelligence.
That's your one.
Okay. So we have agreement. You know what? If some question he's not like he don't wanna answer it like this. Yeah. And he's always telling people that I'm the smart one. You know what? To kind of put those questions towards me. So basically, AI for me, it's more of like, you know, I mean, all of us know that AI is not a new term, but it got, like, you can say, it got recognition from 2012 due to certain reasons when he mentioned AlexNet and stuff. But for me, AI is more of a like as I mentioned before, how do we get proper information out of that data? And at the same time, we don't need to write all the code because sometimes for humans as well, it's pretty difficult to get all the information from the data available because at the end we are kind of like organisms and we need to kind of analyze the data. And sometimes it's huge. You have 3 dimensions. Okay, it's easy. As one of the pioneers in AI once said that after 3 dimensions, tell your heart that everything is okay. If it's 5D, 6D, everything is okay. So at that point of time, like we have machine learning deep learning, that's the subset of the AI because you can say rule-based is also AI. We are kind of mimicking human intelligence, or you can say augmenting the human intelligence. And I guess data is the backbone for that. And for me, AI is always related with data.
For me, it was like a marketing term, like this is artificial intelligence. So for those of you who have seen iRobot and movies like that, it's like those robots that are that intelligent that they can even carry your baggage or whatever. So I think that we are kind of away from this today. But for me, it was like getting into a way to help people do something that a human being is not able to do in this way, or to create some kind of higher intelligence to solve problems that we cannot solve today or by our own. So I was trying to getting used to AI and machine learning, and I was working on understanding all of those things, and I was like, I will never get a data scientist, but I can help those who are data scientists already or are able to become data scientists because they passed the math exam first try.
He's a lifesaver, you know.
Yeah. So I'm more into helping people to be behind the curtain to make his life again easier so that he can do the cool stuff, and I'm just
As I said, you know, he's always trying to, like, if you guys have some questions, you know, ask this guy. But
I will take the next one. No matter what the question is. Okay. Be careful.
I have to get feedback, right? That would be an easy one.
Cool. Appreciate it.
So let's say someone would be interested in starting out in this AI data science field. What would you recommend?
Be good at math. I think it's for me it's a very complex topic to get into. I think that there are people out there, smart guys like you, that are confident in going with this challenge. Like there is some issue with numbers, number crunching, and fractions and stuff like that. And for me, it's not easy to use those things or those technologies and techniques. But I think if one can be enthusiastic about this and wants to do something good with data and analysis and all that related stuff, then I would suggest him to just go for it. It's not easy, it's not a single solution that you just have to read one book and you're a data scientist and you can do machine learning all over the place. It's like, I guess, from what I've seen in the past from smart guys like him, that this is a journey. It's not an easy one, but it works if you are willing to do something about it and to change something, like curing cancer or whatever. So I will never do this, or I don't think that I can do this in any given time, but I can just motivate those who are able, because they are smart and they are interested in this, to just go for it. So there will be challenges, there will be failures, but you can only learn from them. And
that's machine learning.
Be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday. It's like reinforcement. It's one of that's
and you
right.
don't know anything. See?
Did I use it right? Did I use it right? Yeah. Let's just do it. Make us gonna make.
Would you like to add something?
I mean, he explained it like very well, but one thing is that, like, if you're talking about some software engineering principle, let's say some language like Java, so we used to have some certifications for that. But usually, like, when someone asks me, like, what is the best approach to start with? So, like, start the journey, because you need some kind of starting point. So I never recommend them, you know, you just go through this huge amount of books and read through statistics, probability, and all that stuff.
I was asking him this question.
So
I
basically,
never read the book.
Exactly, you don't need to start like that. So the reason is, like, in machine learning, deep learning, we have a lot of mathematics, no doubt in that. But we are doing applied machine learning, deep learning as well. So why don't we start with the category? or any other competitions available there. Because as Steve mentioned, each and every problem is unique. So if you have some certification from Coursera or whatever is out there, it's not going to be applied in the real world. Because real world, you have messy data. Real world is like scary. So how do you tackle that? Just make your hands dirty, play around with competitions out there. That's how you will learn. And slowly, if you're facing some problems, now you need to understand it much better. Then consult you can say some book to understand that concept. Don't start from, writing long these equations and stuff. Other way around, work for me.
Thank you. And so this was basically on the individual side. So now if you look at companies that are trying to evaluate what potential might be hidden in the data, what would you recommend for them? Get out of the basement.
So what I've seen in the field is that most of what is called machine learning today is more analytics. Like you don't have that amount of data already. It's like getting control of your data, and just because it's kind of an algorithm that is doing something, it's not machine learning or AI at all. So there are many companies struggling with, I have to employ data scientists now, 100 of them. And of course, oh yeah, I need data engineers as well, so I will employ another 100 of them, and then I need some DevOps guys, and it's not working. It's like starting with maybe you should start with an idea, with a use case, not just, I got some data, I give it to you, and you, dear Mr. Consulting, wave your magic wand and we'll all save the world. It's not working like that. It's more like having an idea. Maybe you don't need the people sitting right next to you. He's sitting there right next to me at the moment, but I think it's better to have an idea, to have an actual use case, and to talk to people about their ideas, and you may come across a machine learning, prototyping, stuff like that. But just have some data and wave the magic wand will not work. It's like talking about the use case. That's what we were seeing in the last year. So 5 years ago, it was like Netapp had one product. It was doing everything. Everything you could imagine, it was that product. So we were just pitching this one product. It's a box. It can do everything. And how many? Not like that, but
it's a black box, right?
Yeah, it's a black box with a blue N on it. But it was like, no matter what your challenge is, that's our solution. And today, it's the other way around. So we first have to listen to the actual challenge, and then we might have a solution. And so it's not like being a company and just we're doing data science from now on. It's like thinking through the use case, and you might come across. Maybe like that.
Exactly. Just to add here, like how complex is these workloads getting day by day. Like if you're coming, or if you look before 10 years, you have HPC environments. So we used to use some distributed computing, Spark, or those kind of workloads. How do we integrate with machine learning deep learning? That's one challenge. And other challenges, now ultimately when you're training your models, how do you integrate with your applications, web applications, your cars, your mobile devices, how do you do that? So these are some of the challenges that I guess we need to kind of get experience from the field, what these guys are doing, incubate those ideas, and modify our work on those ideas to make it better. That's, I guess, what we are doing here as well. Like we are learning from each other, because he has a lot of experience in the data management domain. I don't have anything. I mean, if you're asking me like what is NFS, what is not, these guys are talking like on regular basis for the breakfast. I don't understand anything. I would say yes. But for me, that's not important. But I need to get that experience from these guys to make the whole journey for us easy. I guess that's how we fit together here, and I guess that's what we should learn from the field as well.
I think the most important part that we were learning is this language barrier. So we're all talking about IT, kind of. So it somehow is related to computers.
I'll give an example here. So Steve, for you, what do you mean by NAS? NAS?
Network attached storage.
See, for me, it's something else. It's neural advanced. Neural architecture storage. So these are the different languages that we speak here.
Totally different languages. And we were when we first met half a year ago, something like that. It was like, so I'm a data scientist, I'm an infrastructure guy, and we tried to talk to each other, and it was like
you need a dictionary.
Exactly.
We of course we needed a dictionary, because it was like I was talking about snapshots and IOPS and bandwidth and stuff like that, and he was like, what's wrong with this guy? So and now we figured out that we do want the same things, but we describe it in a totally different way. And once you get above this barrier, things are getting way easier. And now we are trying to use it, since we are a producing company, so we are creating software, we are doing things in the cloud and different premises in your own data center, and now we translate it for our customers to add them some value so that we can create, you was mentioned products, but I would call it rather solutions.
So you is the smarter now?
Depending on the question. But yeah, it's not like I'm an infrastructure guy and I will go to you data scientist and I will tell you how your world is working. I can try, but I will fail immediately. So if I'm starting about backpropagation, you all can prove me wrong in a few seconds. He did. And that's why I stepped back and just do what I...
So I demotivated you?
No, okay. It was like pointing a mirror.
Yeah.
It's okay, I do what I'm doing best, and that's not data science for me today.
Good. But you read the one question that came up in the LinkedIn comments, right?
Of course.
Should I read it out for you?
Of course, because...
Yeah. If you would have a billboard with anything on it, what would it be and why?
It won't be about IT at all. So I don't know if you are aware of Simon Sinek. I'm a great fan of Simon Sinek. So I would put something, so depending on the space. So,
You can change the font size. Right?
okay, cool. Yeah, but you have to read it from a distance. So for me it was like, they gave me a book, I don't know how it's called in English, Das Café am Rande der Welt.
Start with one?
No, this is a book from Simon Sinek, but I was getting a book called Das Café am Rande der Welt by John Strzelecki. And it was like kind of mind-changing things about why are you living, what's your purpose in life. And then I started with Simon Sinek, started with why leaders eat last. Right now I'm reading The Infinite Game, which has nothing to do with data science and IT at all, which is more related to leadership and culture and growing a company. So I would, to answer the question, finally, I would put something there like, are you feeling a fulfilled life? Or are you happy in what you are doing? Because most of the people are doing something they're not happy with, because it's paying the rent, you got a nice house, you got a nice 4-wheel toy and a 2-wheel toy, and no one likes you because you got that much money and you waste it for no given purpose. It's not fulfilling to buy things. So I would suggest something like, are you happy in what you are doing, to talk about Simon Sinek, because I really, really, really like this guy and his work and everything that
Is he
he's...
paying you?
Huh?
Is he paying you today?
No.
Okay.
I don't. Hey Simon, it's me again.
Yeah, this is the only reason why we're filming, right? So you can get your sponsor.
Yeah, so I have to change shirts afterwards. But
Would you like to add something?
Exactly.
What's your billboard about?
So it's very much similar to your Simon Sinek.
Come on, that's too easy.
So basically, like, usually we say, like, follow your passion. Okay, but is that right thing to do? I mean, like, everyone is right now, focusing on that thing. But for me, it's more like, wherever you are, because no one can be happy in, like, life. Like, each and every time you want to have some change. Okay, right now you're Simon Sinek, you're at some place, you have a car, as you mentioned. So are you going to be happy with that if you're kind of driving, or if you have some aim in your mind? But one point of time, you'll always think that I need some kind of to push it further. So that is not going to end. So for me, it's more of like, wherever you are, make that your passion, and definitely you're going to rule the world.
Thank you. Can you give them a round of applause?